Hello to the Army of Buckeyes and welcome to the Gilmer Buckeyes Coaching Show. I'm Todd Robinson, your host today, and this is the head coach and athletic director of the now 1-0 in district Gilmer Buckeyes. Coach, we are well into phase 2 of the season, and given what we saw Friday night against the Pittsburgh Pirates, I don't know how you can be anything other than pleased.
I was very pleased. That's a great way of describing it. You go into the next phase, and there's certain things you want to see. There's certain evaluations that we're making, and sometimes people start looking at games down the road or playoffs or state championship and not focusing on the next step. And so, we made all of our character traits and captain's meetings and everything was about keeping your eyes on the journey and, one step in front of the other and so forth. I thought the guys did that. And that's what I'm really pleased at. They were focused in their start of the game, through the middle of the game, coming out of second half. When there was a transition, when we began to separate a little bit, they stayed into their teammates who were going into the game. It was the way you would want it to be. And so I was pleased.
I thought it was a total carryover from the Brenham game where I don't know if you can just call it emotional maturity when you've gone through 5 straight weeks of comes down to the last play of the game and you deal with it. You find a way to win. In some cases in the first 2 weeks you didn't pull it out, but the approach of the guys was business.
Workmanlike.
This is a business trip.
Yes.
They still enjoyed their teammates. They had fun for sure.
Right.
But at the end of the day, even a lot of the chippiness that comes in at the end of the game, and Pittsburgh is had a really rough season. You kind of expect that, but the way that they handled it, it was like, okay, this was what we came for. This is what we do. Now let's get our burgers and get on the bus and go focus on the Embry week.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really pleased. I thought the emotional maturity was at a high level. And I talked to him before the game. I said part of maturing is not expecting your emotions to be at a peak level at all times. Throughout a season, they're going to move up and down. And so, the same effort, the same attention to detail, the same intensity should always be there. The emotion is not always going to be there, and there's a maturity to understanding that I think is important, and I felt like they got that the other night.
Well, obviously there's a method to the madness because at the beginning of the season, if I would have asked you at halftime, I think, the close confines of Pirate Stadium, we got to chat a little bit at halftime, and I said, hey, let's just go do that 19 more times because every single bit of the execution was just cool, calm, collected. Let's go do our jobs. Let's do them at a very high level, and let the scoreboard take care of itself. It didn't seem like, to a man, that there was any kind of pull. What I mean by that is there wasn't distraction.
Right.
It was, this is what we're all about right now. This is what we're going to be about, and this is why we're here. And it doesn't matter what happens on the scoreboard.
Exactly. And I think, and I know we'll talk more about Pittsburgh in just a second, but when you come into a week like next week, which is Jamboree week, school's out, there's a million distractions, and the ability to continue that maturation process of being able to, when we're here, we're at work. And then you can go and enjoy the Jamboree and ride a ride and eat a corn dog and whatever else, be in pageant and show chickens and your shop exploits, but then when it's time to be here and to be locked in, you're able to focus and go to work.
Yeah, locked in I think is the key term, and for whatever reason, I don't think I would worry very much about that this week. Well, I hope I'm right.
I'll probably worry just because that's what you're supposed to do as a head coach.
Well, let's dive into the highlights. There were certainly a lot of them. I know we want to get to them. A lot of kids stepped up and played great. A lot of guys you would expect. A lot of guys that you were expecting but were waiting on it to happen. And then a lot of the guys that you just kind of go, wow, if those guys can keep coming, this is going to be exciting. And I think it's a lot of depth to get to.
You bet. Well, let's start off. I got to talk about our defense. Of course, they were on the field first. And so the Black Flag defense had 7 3-and-outs the other night. 7 3-and-outs, which I'm thrilled with. And so I went ahead and picked play 3 which was a second down. But the reason I picked this one is because it defines assignment football on defense. When you're playing a triple option team, everyone has to do their job. The D-line's got to take care of the dive. The linebacker's got to take care of the quarterback. The outside backer's got to take care of the pitch, et cetera. And anyone falters, and you can be in a bind in a hurry. And so this play gives you a great example of what this ought to look like. So let me get this started here. All right, I'm on it. I played it in regular speed, but I'm going to come back and take a look at it and start defining this for us. So here is the triple option. In stopping the triple option, we've got dive, quarterback, pitch. And so you're going to see the guys take care of that in that order. So watch here. We've got our defensive end and defensive tackle who take the dive and they stop it. Well, the quarterback pulls the ball and comes down the line. There's your outside defensive end who came off the dive and took the quarterback. And so now he pitches it, and your outside backer is there for the pitch. So that right there is how you write up how to play the triple option.
It literally is. We're 2 yards deep in the backfield now. We're 4 yards deep in the backfield. Now we're 6 yards deep, and we're now at, I think that turned it into third and 14 or 15.
Correct. We get the ball, first drive. We're able to move the ball, and I've got Trill Butler circled here, and Trill is just blossoming at running back. You can just see him each week really stepping up, the way he's setting up his blocks, the way he's finding his holes. So watch him here. We have an inside handoff, and he sees the crease, and just once he bursts through the hole, it's over. He outruns several guys who have the angle on him. Take a look from the end zone angle. You're going to see the blocks. So you've got receivers who are turning out. You see the linemen, which are blocking down. Now you see the crease. Now they have a corner that is back there. And so now if you're an athlete, you got to make one guy miss. And so Trill is an athlete, and he hits that hole, outruns the corner, and takes it for a touchdown.
Yeah, and those are not slow guys there in Pittsburgh. These are athletes that are over there.
Yes.
And I thought that not just the speed and making it look easy, but the confidence is starting to ooze out of him.
Right, I agree. He's he's more and more decisive in his movements. I agree. So we score. We line up in the gate. I know sometimes people go, "Why do you do that every time?" Because you never know when you're going to steal a point. And get one more. We have a call that gets us up inside. We have a call that gets us outside. We have calls that we can throw off of. We have, there's a handful of things that you can do, or you can just shift and kick the ball. We felt like there was an opening in here. We haven't called this one this year. It was time to do that. And so we do a great job of getting the pitch over. Day Jimerson slices through there, and I'll let you see from the backside. There's the hole. There's the opening. They just were a gap too wide. And so that's the crease we're going to try and hit. And we flip the ball over to Day. And then there he goes. There's his angle that he's going to work at. He slides through. And so now you're up 8-0 instead of 7.
And putting pressure on the other team to basically say, look, if this is going to be a multi-touchdown game, I got to figure out how to steal a point back somewhere to just be in it.
Exactly. So this next play, I put it in. This is a big play of hitting Caden Tennyson, playing receiver here. He plays quarterback later. But you're going to see he has as good a hands as we've had. He really does. But you're seeing him being more and more confident in his movements, in his routes and so forth as he's getting more and more work out there at receiver. And he catches this glance, that bang 8, if you will, what the colleges call it, or pros. And we've got it worked into an RPO. It's all based off of what they're giving us and how we're going to hit it. So let me go back a step. So for the quarterback, he's looking at that free safety, the guy circled. And if he's over here with Caden, then we have several other options to the trip side. We also have a run tied to it, numbers in the box, etc. Well, the numbers were somewhat heavy in the box. The free safety is over to the trips. He automatically knows I'm going to Caden. So he's going to stick the ball in the running back's belly, which is going to bring in the linebacker that I have circled right there. He steps up to the box, and then there's Caden wide open. We hit him. Caden breaks a tackle. He's a load out there in space for those corners. And 40 yards later, he gets tackled. So great job. I'm going to show it to you from Brady's position. So that's the safety. He looks, and so now you've got all this room over here to the left. That's where he's got to hit Caden. And so, again, he's going to put the ball in the running back's belly, get that backer to bite, get out of the way. There it goes. Hits him in stride. Big play.
Yeah, as a quarterback, the free safety is sitting right in the middle of the field, so he thinks that, hey, I've got everything centered up. Unfortunately, we're on the left hash, and that creates a mismatch for him. Mm-hmm. So made it easy on quarterback to quarterback. I said you literally see both those guys recognize it at the same time.
Yeah.
And we just started referring to Caden as glue because he's playing so many positions and holding us together in so many different ways.
Super job. And like what he has on his hands, because that's how he catches. Okay, so back to the defense here. We've got Alex Guillen. Alex just had a phenomenal game. And honestly, in the week before the Brenham game, he was chosen Longview News-Journal Defensive Player of the Week. He had an incredible week in that game. So here he is again. He and Jet Bates just really put a hurt on this triple option.
If triple options were T-bone steaks, they would have gotten a belly full.
There you go.
It was something to behold.
Well, watch him here. He's up at the top of the screen. He's going to squeeze, takes the back, takes the quarterback, and then ends up tackling the pitch. I'm going to show it to you here on the tight. So there he is. Watch him first take the dive as he comes inside, right there. The quarterback pulls it. So then he's up the field, hits the quarterback, makes a bad pitch, runs over, and here he is finishing the play with a tackle for 9-yard loss.
All he could have done more on that play was just scoop and score.
Scoop and score. Come on, Alex.
Yeah, come on, Alex. That's just called, as we called it on the broadcast, wreaking havoc.
Yeah, no doubt.
Not only did he know what was coming, he knew how to play exactly everything, and literally did 3 dudes' jobs in one guy.
Correct. Yeah, it's a super job. I'm so proud of him and his maturation as a senior, and it's amazing how you just see young men get better and better and better. And here's an example. Last year it was Cameron. Mm-hmm. Cam just came on and had such a great year for us, and Alex is that guy this year who's taken that leadership role and is making plays every week. So we'll go from there. We've got this is the very next play after the play that Alex made, and you're just going to see a whole host of black flag players right here. Again, triple option. Jet Bates is on the opposite side at defensive end, and he creates havoc on his side. So watch him, 46, there he is circled, and you're going to see him squeeze, take the dive, and then you're going to see him get after the quarterback along with our linebackers, and then there's the pitch, and now we got outside back, and here they come. Here comes the posse, and tackle them for a big loss. That's fun to watch. I'm just saying, as a coach, when you're on the sideline, you really enjoy seeing that level of effort.
The first half, I think they had 15 yards of total offense.
Yeah. Well,
it was just
It was 92 on the night, and 50, I think all but 50-something of it was in the last drive.
Right. I knew it was late.
Game.
Yeah. But it was
so
the first half was just absolutely dominant.
Yeah. Tremendous job. So here we're in the red zone area, the green zone, inside the 30, right outside the 25. And so we have a concept where we're going to try and get the safeties out of the middle, and we run smash routes, flag routes with our inside receivers, which pulls the safeties. And so then we're going to take our running back and put him down the middle over the linebacker, and we're able to, there he is right there, right over the top of the linebacker, and Brady's able to put it on him. Now I'm going to go to the next version. That was the wide version. This is the tight version. And I'm going to focus on Brady, who does a great job. They get some pressure here. Their nose guard was a big guy.
He was a beast.
And he was a load. He gave us a little bit of trouble, and they got a guy coming off the edge here on the side. So what I loved here, as this pressure came, these are the drills. They work this drill every single week of climbing in the pocket.
Right.
and having ball security, because when you climb in the pocket, they're going to be reaching and trying to drag that ball out. And so you see Coach Lane working with him on this drill weekly, and he does a super job of not worrying about them, just doing what he's been taught to do, right up into the pocket, shuffles his feet, and drops the ball in for a touchdown. That's a high-level play.
Very much.
Yeah.
Very much so. That was one of, I think, the most impressive plays, simply because he also never took his eyes from.
Correct.
His eyes were down the field the entire time. He felt it, but he makes himself skinny, and he gets skinny and steps up and then resets his feet and delivers a strike. That's all you can ask your quarterback
That's
to do.
all you can ask. That's a high-level play. So we're really pleased. We continue to see growth in all the positions, and you're seeing it in Brady at his quarterback spot. So,
by the way, both quarterbacks, I think, were 11 for 13, and 2 of them were throwaways. I mean, there were no drops.
We had a 90% completion rate.
Unbelievable.
Never in all the years we've been here have we had a 90% completion rate. We have practices on air.
That you can't throw 90%.
We don't go 90%. That was impressive by the quarterbacks and the receivers and the running back, everybody involved of throwing and catching and knowing where things were. That's impressive. I don't care who you're playing.
Right.
90% is unbelievable. So fantastic job there. Here we are in the red zone again. We're creating a situation out here where we're trying to stretch the defense horizontally. So we're getting out in wide splits here by our receivers, and we're going to just decide where to go with it. You've got a chance. You can throw it to the left. You can throw it to the right. You can run the ball. And we come out here to the right, out here to Brendan Webb. So there's your horizontal stretch and that I've got drawn there. And then either side, those are the guys we're looking at. Okay, are they out there with the doubles, or are they in here in the box? If they were out wide, well, then you run the ball. If they're in here tight, well, then you throw the ball. So it's not rocket science. You just got to decide where they are. They're playing in the box. Here comes the corner, and Max gets just enough on the guy. The guy really came hard. Max gets just enough on him where Brendan can catch the ball. Well, now you have an athlete in space.
One-on-one.
One-on-one. And
good luck for that dude in Pittsburgh.
There you go. That's a tough one. You got a guy who can move, and he takes it in for a touchdown, makes it look easy.
Yeah, Brent, obviously, we talked about it on the air, and his coming out party last year against Kilgore and how he just continued to improve week after week. And it seems like he's now just getting comfortable. And, if you knew what he's playing through that whole 4 or 5 weeks and the load that he was toting on, sometimes on both sides of the ball, but 4 hadn't gone anywhere.
No.
4 is still here, and healthy is a good place for him to be if you're a Buckeye fan.
Yeah, Brendan is doing a super job. Here we are on defense. They had converted off of a penalty, and so they're over on our side of the field now, and so they're going to try a pass, and you're going to see B. Webb on defense. So he's man on this inside receiver here. I've got him drawn up there, and he's following him. The guy cuts across. You see Kai Kennedy. Kennedy reads the pass, so he gets Feather's technique where he drops back into his hook zone, which is what makes the throw hard for the quarterback. So you can see the quarterback is a little errant. He's high. Well, the reason he's high is because Kai was soft in that underneath area. So his throw was high, B. Webb's there, he makes the catch, interception, and now you're running back the other way.
Yeah, an athletic catch, but you've gotten kind of used to seeing B. Webb do those kind of things.
Yeah.
But when you see him do it finally as comfortably as he moved around, I mean, he's moving like himself.
Yeah.
And that is just that is like a warm blanket for Buckeye fans. And of course, Kai Kennedy just keeps coming. Last week, I think he played his best game, and I would have said that until right about halftime on Friday, and I thought, well, that was his best game.
Yeah, he's really coming on, getting his feet under him, understanding the defense, plays hard, plays physical. Really pleased with what he is doing, and he does a great job setting the edge and turning things back in. So you're right, he needs to be mentioned. So we get down here to the red zone. Zayd Taylor's at running back. We already threw the touchdown pass to him. We hand the ball to him. On an outside zone play. Their backer does a great job of keeping leverage, and Zayd just makes him miss. So watch this here. There's Zayd, got him highlighted. Great job by our receivers You got B. Webb and you've got Jeremiah out there. They do a super job sealing the secondary. So now Zaid's got to beat one guy, and he does. That's the guy. He puts a little move on him and then gets into the end zone. Great job. Excellent job, I think, by those receivers that, I'm always bragging on them on their blocking. Every receiver wants to catch the ball, and they do a great job of it. But to do that dirty work, the blocking where nobody in the stands saw that except maybe their moms, and aunt and uncle or somebody like that who are specifically watching. But when you do that for your teammate, that's a selfless act. You're stacking those things together. So great job. So we come back. This is the last highlight that I've pulled up for us. Again, this is Alex Guillen. Like I said, he just had a phenomenal game. He's coming off the edge for a sack right here. And I'm going to show you how Jerry Dean actually played a big role in this as well. He's playing inside linebacker here. He's going to come on a stunt, which is going to force the quarterback over. Now you're going to see the defensive tackles, they occupy the center and the guard. And so Jerry comes right between them, pushes him over, and there's Alex. So that, people see Alex made the sack, which was awesome. But there you had two defensive tackles that tied up the guys that had to be tied up. Then you had Jerry on his stunt, which moved him off his spot to Alex. So there's so much more involved in a highlight play than many times that we see, from the stands.
Yeah, and that poor quarterback had bullets coming at him from every angle.
He had
and had he not moved, then JD would have got him.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it was one of those things that there was really not a lot of fun experience if you're Pittsburgh for that game. Obviously, has so many connections between us and Pittsburgh with former players that are on the staff over there. Great moment that we didn't catch on the broadcast before the game with a dual team devotional, which happened, which makes us proud, and it makes it such a great night for football. But to see
Tristan, Abram, he does a great job. He's investing into kids. He has the same vision that we do. Right now they're struggling. They've got some injuries and so forth. But you're talking about. He's attempting to instill the same type character that we're working on here. Well, you cheer for people like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And of course, we've known Tristan forever, from up in Sulphur Springs and coaching with Greg and coming over to Paul Pewitt, where he went to a state championship as well.
That's right.
And and I told some of the kids that came over from Pittsburgh after the game that everybody was kind of down there. I'm like, look, you guys got plenty of talent. You win a couple of games here, you get in the playoffs, and no matter what happens, you still got stuff to play for.
Yeah.
So I didn't want Buckeye fans to look at the scoreboard and say, that was a gimme. It was not. We just happened to kind of put it all together and play that well. I want to point out too, it's not on the highlights, but the guy that I was kind of waiting to have this little come out debut, I guess you could say, was Trey showed up with a touchdown catch, his first catch.
Yeah, had a great play on the screen and cut it back against the grain and scored.
And just looked like
sharp.
We've been expecting him to look for a while.
Had a deep pass to him that was a little short, and he went up and got interfered with. That was a big first down for him.
It was huge. Yeah. And a lot of younger guys, Solly, that are not names you've heard before, but now are names that are starting to pop up consistently that you see week after week.
Right.
And everybody's kind of starting to get back. We had a lot of guys back this week that we didn't have last week.
Right.
And next week we'll probably have the same thing. Probably none too soon because we've got the Van Vandals coming in.
Right.
New district competitor for us. We Plaid Van on the schedule for a long, long time. Extremely well coached. Coach's kid for a quarterback over there. And they've always played us kind of like Lindale. It's always been a lights out dogfight to the last play.
Same type of young man.
Now that they're in district, we're going to have to deal with them for keeps because this one counts. Big playoff implications for both teams. They are 1-0 and we are 1-0 coming into the game. So any expectations there for Van?
Well, they're one of those teams. They're not going to go away. No matter what you do, they're just going to keep playing that next play. Keep playing. They have a program. Coach Moffitt's been there since like 2010 and done a fantastic job perennially in the playoffs. Push deep. We've played them in the playoffs several times over the past few years, and they're tough. always when you have a coach's kid at quarterback, you know, they've just played a little bit different level. You know, he's a winner, he's a scrapper. They've got a receiver that's tall and can really run that they try and get the ball to. So we're aware of that. Their defense, they're hard-nosed, they're well-coached. They run a 4-2-5 just like we do. They do a great job with their secondary on route reading, that sort of thing. So it's going to be a great game out here. You know, I can just tell you that. It'll be very competitive. And I respect the heck out of Jared and the job he does, and I know it'll be a great game Friday.
I expect it as well. Hey, I do want to brag on the Army. We had them outnumbered about 2-1 in an away game. Boy, that's awesome to see. Is the folks coming out again. I know it's Jamboree week. No excuse, you're going to be in town anyway. Come over and support the Buckeyes. I would say that you get the feeling that things are kind of looking up. But you almost get that sense of deja vu that we hit some strides last year. A little, maybe not this soon.
Right.
Maybe it wasn't this early. But when you see guys like Tyler Hagler that are just completely dominating the line of scrimmage, I mean, you don't see a lot of high school games, especially in East Texas at this level, with two really good athletic teams where 90% completion rate. That is insane. I mean, the execution level for these Buckeyes was up there, and you get the feeling that you haven't even come close to scratching the surface of our best ball.
Well, we hope that's the case. We're going to try and take another step this week. We're going to go get at it, have a great week of practice this week, embrace the Jamboree and all that comes with it, and go play well on Friday night.
Awesome. Well, we're excited about it. 1-0 Buckeyes go take on the Van Vandals here Friday night. 7:30 kick, correct?
7.
7 o'clock.
All
kick.
district or 7.
All district is 7 o'clock, so tune in a little bit earlier or just be here. We would be very happy to broadcast to somebody's cats and dogs at home. That would be great with us. But having the Buckeye Army out to support our kids is the name of the game. No excuses this week as the Buckeyes look to go 2-0. So for myself, Todd Robinson, the head coach and athletic director, Alan Metzel, we will see you Friday night. Have a happy Jamboree. Go Buckeyes.